Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 185. 5 brilliant read aloud titles for the primary teacher. And I should say one tired teacher turned two tired teachers, because today Lee is back and we are talking about books that you need to use in your read aloud, or that you can use in your read aloud. Hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
We're back. So we are talking about books that you can read at the beginning of the year. So these are some back to school, even though, if you're like us, it's Florida, and if you're in Florida, then your school year has already started. This episode is coming out actually on my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And
happy birthday.
So we are already well into our year in Florida, but you might not be there quite yet because Labor Day is around the corner. So let's talk about 5 titles, although we're going to go over because Lee's going to share more than 5 and I'm going to share more than 5. And we also have some things that might help you out, and we'll link to those things. And we have a couple freebies. We'll link to those. And so we've got some titles for you. All right, Lee, tell us the must reads for the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. So I think in our previous episode, we talked about like how important it is to build a sense of classroom community and a sense of belonging in your room and respect and rapport among students. And a way to foster that is to read books where it creates conversations around acceptance and what could happen for the school year. And so a lot of my books are about that and kind of help. So, but my first one that I want to share, I definitely have more than 5 for sure. But I'll go quick. My first one I want to share is the classic First Day Jitters by Julie Danberg. I think every teacher listening is very familiar with this book. I have read this book to students K-5, and even students who have already read it before always enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, it's about a girl who is not excited for her first day of school, and it kind of follows her, but you never actually see her face until the end, and it's revealed that it's the teacher that was jittery for her first day of school. And it's just such a great book because it really opens up this kind of honest conversation about your feelings about the first day of school, but also kind of offers a window for students to see that, hey, teachers get nervous too, and it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to feel like you didn't want to do something. And the kids always love it because they realize too, like the teacher didn't want to get out of bed, and just like they don't want to get out of bed, and the teacher didn't want to get in the car, just like she didn't want to get dressed, just like they don't. So that's always a classic.
And you have a unit, right?
I have a unit for that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I have a makerspace extension. It's also covers reading standards. And then there's a makerspace extension for that book as well. So we'll link to that in the show notes.
Yes. The next one I have is by LeBron James, and it's the I Promise book, which is actually like seriously one of my favorites. It has such a positive message. It's all about the promises that you make to yourself and to your community to be the best version of you. And it just goes through some of those promises that you might make to yourself or your community. And Trina, I know in one of our episodes, the do's and don'ts, you were talking about like a class mission statement. This is such a great one if you're planning on doing a class mission statement, because it talks about just being the best version of you and giving that to not just yourself and your family, but to your classroom as well. I have a freebie that goes with this where students get a chance to kind of create their own promise to be the best version of themselves, which is a perfect like back to school activity that you can do with your class. Cute little bulletin board active, like put it up after you're done to have it up. So, but highly recommend I Promise by LeBron James. Another one is by Lanisha Tab from Education in an Apron. She's the voice behind that. We can link to her, but this one's a good one. And I don't think you knew this.
I
this
didn't.
one.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It's a teacher's top secret confidential. And really what it's about is kind of like she's spilling the beans on the secret that teachers got to pick you to be in their class.
Oh, that's cool.
And that you were picked because you were so special. And it really just creates this sense of belonging right off the bat. And I mean, believe me, teachers wish that they could pick the kids in their class, but it creates just
some
this
schools
sense.
do.
What?
Yeah, they do like a draft. They call it a draft. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have never been at that. I've always just been, here's your class. But this is just, it's so cute. It's such a good message. And about like, you know, it reveals the teacher secret that you were picked to be here because of you. Mm-hmm.
What a great message that is for kids.
Oh yeah. And you can actually, I don't think it's available on Amazon, but you can order it from her website. So we'll have to put that in the show notes. Okay. Another one is by Alexandra Penfull, All Are Welcome. This is once again, that same kind of vein of like, we're open to everyone in our classroom. We want you to be here. You're special and unique to us. And, you know, we're excited you're here.
Another one, just like your theme, like your books are very culturally inclusive. Like all different kinds of students with different color skin, different abilities can see themselves in these books because it really is. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, we want books to be, what do they say? Like a window or a mirror. And I think if it could just be a window into someone else's life, that's great. But if it's a mirror, it's even more powerful. Mm-hmm. Another one, Our Class is a Family, same lines as like, you're welcome here. It's just a really great community building. I love School's First Day of School too. I don't have that one right here, but that's a good one. Okay. Classic, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. This one by Mark Teague is such a good one. It's one of my favorites because it opens the conversation up for what did you do this summer? And I know a lot of teachers kind of get frustrated with that question because they feel like all the kids say is like, oh, I didn't do anything this summer. And really, like, did this kid actually do any of this that he says? Like, it's such a fun book. And the way it's left, like, you really do wonder, like, did he really have this amazing adventure? So I love that one. A Color of Your Own, all about like accepting yourself and being truly who you are. And then this one's a heart book for sure. It's a heart book, and it's not one I would read probably the first week of school, but I would definitely read it at back to school time. It's From Far Away by Robert Munsch and Seo Sands Asghar. Oh, I need to look up how to actually say that name properly, but it's a beautiful story. You know, Robert Munsch writes heart books, the hard heart, the tear at your strings. So it's about a little girl who moves from a war-torn country to the US and her kind of like transition from traumatic to safe, and just how important the community and her teacher are to that transition. And it's just a beautiful story and such a strong message that I think students, I would 2nd through 5th could handle very easily and understand that, like, you know, for some people, like school, being safe at school is not always the norm. And so it's just a beautiful book. And I love it for back to school because it can offer a window into someone else's life, but it can also be a mirror. You don't know, like, you know, all what your students are coming from always. So it could be a mirror.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are so good. I'm so excited. All right. So I'm going to share the ones that I picked. I had a hard time because I love books, and I love to talk about books and how you can use them with different standards and how you can do like makerspace. And I just love, that's like the media specialist in me. So I do have actually a free list of books by standards that make a great makerspace extension. And I have them at TrinaDevery.teachingandlearning.com/ELA books for makerspace. ELA books for makerspace is all one word. And I'll link to that in the show notes. So I'm going to start with my very favorite. And this is a heart book as well. And it's Thank You, Mr. Fokker by Patricia Polacco. I love this story because it really goes into detail and depth about this little girl who struggles with school. She has such a hard time learning to read. She feels really bad about herself. There's a bullying scene that is really powerful to have conversations with kids about being kind to one another and supporting each other. And in the end, you find out that this girl is actually the author, Patricia Polacco, and she has a special relationship with her grandmother. And it's just I can make a lot of connections to this story myself because I struggled, and I just absolutely adore this. And it's also a great opportunity to be really vulnerable with your students and, you know, share things. And it's just unbelievable conversations. Then more that I love, another one of my favorites. I have a whole bunch by Kobe Yamada. Like I love Kobe Yamada. So he wrote Maybe, which is
Mhm.
actually, this is a newer one, but it's really looking at the possibilities in life and like looking at, what can happen when we put in the work and when we dream and believe and all those things. It's so pretty. And then beautiful illustrations, such powerful making meaning with these illustrations. His other books that I love, What Do You Do with a Chance? What do you do with an
Yeah.
idea? What do you do with a problem? I don't know why I don't have that one. I do, but it didn't have it in my stack. I love those. I think those are like, again, looking at mindset, kids thinking about taking problems and making them opportunities.
Mhm.
And I just think that is exciting. It's a whole perseverance kind of thing. Again, community building. Another one that I love, and I have a unit, my first reading unit is on characters and story elements. And, we look at retelling and things, and we look at Henry and Mudge, which
Love
this is
this one.
Henry and Mudge, the first book. And this little connection between Henry and Mudge is so sweet. This used to be recommended actually in the Common Core. And I thought it was the first time that I couldn't believe it. I'd never been introduced to Henry and Mudge by Cynthia Rylant, who is a beautiful writer. I know.
Oh, I think anytime you can pick up a Cynthia Rylant book,
I
you will
agree.
not be disappointed. She is
Yep.
I love her writing style for younger students, especially. It's so simplistic, but there's so much meaning in there
So
too.
much. Yes, there's a lot of depth. It's very it's a great book. And then another one that I love to do with characters, looking at how characters change across, series as well, and I'm going to say Knuffle Bunny, Knuffle Bunny 2 and Knuffle Bunny Free from Mo Willems. And it is knuffle because it's a Danish word. And actually in Knuffle Bunny 2, Trixie and her at the time enemy Sonia are fighting about it. Or Trixie is saying knuffle and Sonia saying nuffle. And my daughter was like adamant to her her kindergarten teacher that it was knuffle, and her teacher's like, it's nuffle. So anyway, but it is because I found out that it's a Danish word. So I love doing Trixie's voice. So it's one of my favorites to start with, because then kids are like, love when I do Trixie's voice, and I just think it's super fun. And then another one that I love by Mo Willems, or any of the Piggy and Gerald books. My kids also love Piggy and Gerald. They love when I do Piggy and Gerald voices, and those are fun. I love this one, Can I Play Too? Because it's very inclusive. Like, sometimes we don't think that people that have, things that are challenges to them, or even things that are like a beautiful difference about them, we don't recognize that they can participate as well. And so I love how they figure that out. I think it's a good one for like.
Oh, that's actually my son's favorite Piggy, Elephant and Piggy book.
Really?
He has like all the book. We have like the big books because you can get them like where it's like a set of like 5 in one big book. And that one is always the one he wants to read, because he loves how at the end they all play and they figure it out. And he just loves that message of the inclusiveness there.
Yeah.
So that's
I read it to 5th graders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I even read it
to 5th grade because I have a these makerspace challenge cards that go with Piggy and Gerald books. And they had to create a toy, a non-breakable toy. And then you give them some constraints. And so my 5th graders were creating this. I gave them specific materials. That was one of the constraints, and a certain time limit. And then they had to test it. And if it broke, then, it failed. And then we had an unbelievable conversation about failure and how important failure is, and how it can move us and propel us forward. And 5th grade was like, I don't want to fail.
Oh, yes.
So
Kids
it was
don't want to fail.
It was so powerful. Like productive struggle. I definitely think that's great. And then this is one of my favorites to read, especially to younger kids. Kindergartners love this. First graders, 2nd graders. It's the book with.
I think it hits a little different with 1st and 2nd grade though than kindergarten.
Oh no, kindergarten loves it. I read it to multiple kindergarten classes, and they were like, yeah. And I made a really big deal about it not having any pictures. I'm like, who would write a book without pictures? And I was stomping around and all that stuff. And then they get to see the power of words and what that can create, and the visualization that occurs in our brain, and what it forces you to say sometimes as the reader. And that's a really fun one to do with voices as well. And that's by BJ Novak. So Yeah, so fun. And there's so many books. I love all of the options that there are, and I'm happy to always help with that too. If anyone's ever questioning what they can use or what standard or what book they might want to use in their classroom, I love to help with that.
Awesome.
Yep. All right. So we've given you plenty of options. So hopefully you have a whole
Plenty.
bunch of special
So we definitely went way over our 5. We were at like what, 15?
Yeah,
10?
that was a lot. Whoops. All right. Well, these 2 tired teachers are signing off. We'll see you next time. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.
Sleep tight.